Sharon here again. I'm glad so many people have found my video for preparing for Practicum 1 helpful, and I thought I would make another video in case you are preparing for your VIPKID Practicum 2. Here are some things that can help you out. As you know, this practicum is a combination of an abbreviated beginner level lesson and abbreviated intermediate level lesson. So, congrats to you that you get to do this, because the more practice you have teaching different levels of students, getting feedback from other teachers, the better prepared you will be to teach actual students. Don't feel like a failure for being sent to the practicum 2. It's awesome preparation, and plenty of really great teachers do a second practicum just to get that extra preparation, extra practice. So, don't be down on yourself. Practicum 2, what should you work on? All the feedback you got in Practicum 1, apply that to Practicum 2. This is the chance for us to see how you listen to feedback, how you apply it. The biggest thing I see is teachers not fully understanding I do, we do, you do. A lot of teachers understand, okay, I need to demonstrate the directions, I need to help the student out as much as possible, but they're not challenging the student. Make sure you're working to you do, getting the student to make those sentences on their own. So I don't want to, as the student, just be repeating back everything that you're telling me. I want to be challenged. So ask me again, what do you see, to get me talking on every slide. Stay consistent with that, getting the student talking, always a big thing teachers need to work on, 70% of the time. So make that happen by asking, what do you see? A lot of teachers are getting a lot of time sucked up in their review and their warm-up slides, especially this beginner level lesson has a lot of those. Make sure you're not reteaching me all those vocabulary words, and we're not spending a lot of time with you telling me how to do everything again. So demonstrate the directions and just test my ability to remember those things using complete sentences, and I can tell you what I see on those pictures. We should be able to move through that material fairly quickly so we can have enough time to get to the new material of the day. Again, a lot of my candidates aren't even finishing all of the beginner level lesson. They run out of time because they're letting too much time get sucked up in that first part. So just asking me, what do you see, demonstrating those directions, that'll help us get through things smoothly. Okay, beginner level, check, check. Now on to the intermediate level, which is sometimes the scariest for people because you haven't done this one before. Don't be scared by the intermediate level lesson, it's so fun. Intermediate students can actually talk to you more. So while the beginner level lesson, we're focusing on keeping very simplified sentence structures, lots of repetition, the same simple sentences. In the intermediate, the challenge is to get the student talking, to challenge them more by asking them good comprehension questions. So we engage them by asking them good questions. Where can you find good comprehension questions? In the target sentences. The beginner level classes have target sentences, and so do the intermediate level classes. And you might be thinking, holy cow, there's a lot of target sentences. These are to help you get the student talking. You don't have to feel like you need to go through each one like a machine. They'll naturally just kind of work their way in as you're asking comprehension questions and getting the student engaged in the lesson. So, the first thing, you have the student read whatever the sentence is on the slide. Maybe they say, Beijing is the capital of China. The first question you should ask them is a comprehension question to make sure they understand what they just read. So instead of telling them, as we read here, we learned that Beijing is the capital of China, ask them, what is the capital of China? A simple question, they can find the answer right in the reading. And then to test their ability or their understanding of the word capital, we can ask them next, what is the capital of the United States? And then you can ask them, what do these two cities have in common? And then we can learn what a capital is. So this is just an example, but for every slide, you don't want them to just read it, tell them definitions, and then move on. You want the student talking, you want the student engaged. So ask them reading comprehension questions, and then as time allows, ask them increasingly difficult questions that get them engaged in the reading. And those questions come from, again, your target sentences. You can ask them about their personal experiences, tap into their prior experiences, their preferences, any of those things to get them talking, using those vocabulary words, using those target sentences. That's how you get the student engaged in the intermediate level class, and that's how you appropriately challenge them. A lot of my candidates are zooming through this intermediate level and they're left with 2-3 minutes with nothing to do. So if you're asking those questions throughout, getting the student to answer in complete sentences still, you'll fill up your time better and you won't be left with nothing to do at the end of your class. So keep them engaged. Beginner level students, we're keeping them engaged with big exaggerated motions, TPR, and all of our props. We still want props in the intermediate level, but we're keeping them engaged with our comprehension questions, with the conversation we're able to facilitate in the classroom. So the big thing, challenge your student. Even beginner level students need to be challenged appropriately. Intermediate level students need to be challenged appropriately. As you're asking those good target sentences, those good questions, you'll get your students engaged, you'll get them learning better, and you will be a great success. Best of luck on Practicum 2.